This is Sung, and I'm the Principal and Director of Sky Academy. And in the last episode, what we did was looked at plane geometry and done some introductory definitions on plane geometry: point, interval, ray, line, angle. Okay. So now in this episode, I actually want to look at a couple more definitions, or two more definitions in particular. Theorem versus axiom. Now you may or may not have heard those words and you don't really need to know them, but let me just explain what they are so that this will help you when you're doing geometrical proofs or communicating geometrical proofs. Okay, so geometrical proofs are kind of like writing an essay in mathematical language, where you kind of build on an argument or build on a statement of facts, and you kind of work your way towards proving something is something else, or something is true, okay? Which is what the question might be asking, okay? And to do that, you need to rely on things called theorems or axioms, all right? Now let me just kind of go through what a theorem or axiom is. A theorem is something that you can prove to be true. Okay, so what's an example of a theorem? Pythagoras' theorem is something that you know. Remember, Pythagoras' theorem says that in a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the two shorter sides. That's something that we can prove, all right? Because it's something that we can prove to be true, we call that a theorem, okay? And the essay that we use to communicate its truth is called the proof. All right, so a theorem is a statement that requires proof or can be proved to verify the truth of it. This differs with the word axiom, which you may or may not have heard. Okay, but an axiom is just a mathematical statement. Okay, and in the strictest sense of the word, an axiom is something that you can't prove it to be true. Okay. But you kind of assume it to be true. You kind of have to assume it to be true in order to build on mathematical rules. So it's kind of like a mathematical rule that is assumed to be true. So it's a statement that is assumed to be true that allows further truth to be proved or to be discovered. Okay, so that's an axiom, and I'll give you an example of an axiom. I suppose an axiom, a good example of an axiom is the one that we have here, that an interval or a line is the shortest distance between 2 points. Is it really the shortest distance between 2 points? Now I understand that in physics and in science, that's not necessarily the case. All right, so the shortest distance between 2 points isn't necessarily a straight line in physics or science. Okay, it's something else called I don't know. But we won't go there, right? But so they're the two things that we need to know. And in plane geometry, what we will be doing is we will be looking at a whole lot of axioms and theorems that we will be using to help us prove geometrical type problems. Okay, so an example of this might be something that you might know from junior school. Supplementary angles equal to 180 degrees. A straight angle equals to 180 degrees. The angle sum of a triangle is 180 degrees. Corresponding angles on parallel lines are equal. Right? So these are what we call either theorems or axioms, but we'll be using them, and you don't need to know these two words, but we'll be using them, using these theorems and axioms to help us solve geometrical type problems. Okay, so we need to be aware of theorems and axioms, and when I refer to them, that's what I basically mean. Okay, so that's all I wanted to do for this episode. In the next episode, we will launch straight into it and start looking at some axioms together. Alright, so thank you very much for watching.